Tonight, academic shortcuts.
I had 8% of my class achieve 100% on the multiple choice.
A Western professor accusing his students of exam cheating using AI.
I've never seen marks like that in 20 years of teaching.
Plus, tornado confirmed.
The rain was coming down so hard you couldn't even see 6 inches past the window.
Cleaning up across the region after yesterday's wicked storm. And compensation disclosure.
Anyone thinking that a role as a healthcare executive or in healthcare is a 5-day-a-week, 7-hour-a-day job, I wish him best with those thoughts.
The LHSC supervisor defending his provincial invoice.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with a Western University professor who says a majority of his students used artificial intelligence to cheat on one of his final exams. Western officials refused our request for comment on the allegations, and the professor says school administrators are willfully turning a blind eye to the issue. Brian Bicknell reports.
Beyond these halls of higher learning, an unpleasant truth that has one professor uncovering lies.
But a common sentiment that I've heard in speaking with students is you're at a great disadvantage now if you don't try to take these shortcuts because you can't compete.
Jacob Shelley is a professor at Western University's Faculty of Law and School of Health Sciences. He alleges the majority of the 288 students in his healthcare law course cheated on their April 24th final exam using AI. The rules were closed book, independent, and no use of external sources. It was half written answers and half multiple choice.
I had 8% of my class achieve 100% on the multiple choice, 55% over 90%. I've never seen marks like that in 20 years of teaching. And then when I went to the written answers, it was very clear that there was a disconnect. Information I didn't teach and that I can't believe they knew, or the use of very specific structure that was replicated across multiple students, framing it and writing it almost identically.
He says he decided not to use proctoring software because he believes it does not prevent cheating.
The availability of these AI tools has also never been greater. They're incredibly easy to use. And an unproctored exam online is almost like an invitation to use these tools.
Tech expert Carmi Levy says technology has left institutions of higher learning playing catch-up, and that could lead to a mark on their own academic credibility.
All schools need to figure this out, and they need to do it quickly, because otherwise their very brands could be at risk of being compromised. If you cannot trust that the integrity of the degree that you grant is unimpeachable, then the value of that degree is diminished on the open market.
In the meantime, Shelley says he decided not to use exam results toward final grades, even though his administrators instructed him otherwise.
The message I received is that we don't trust your judgment. We don't care about your ethics. We care about getting marks out to students because that's what they pay for. And we're going to turn a blind eye to concerns about cheating.
CTV News asked Western for an interview to address Shelley's allegations. It chose not to grant one. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Researchers with Western's Northern Tornadoes Project have confirmed a tornado touchdown near Belmont last night. London's south and east ends were hardest hit, along with several spots in the county. Sean Irvin has more on the cleanup.
The tail end of what is now confirmed to be a tornado is caught on camera by a local realtor. Matt Barr had just stopped by to fill his SUV with gas at a truck stop near Belmont. As he attempted to leave, swirling winds hit.
So I noticed like a big wall of like black beside me, and I thought, holy moly, what is that? And then I realized like it's a tornado. And then I realized I'm in a tornado.
The storm that crossed his path had already impacted areas of Lambeth and South London. Barr is grateful it was not strong enough to cause injury or heavy damage, but another track of wind did. The most widespread damage is here in East London, where multiple streets bound by Clark Road and Trafalgar saw trees uprooted. Some of those trees, including this one on Merlin Crescent, landed on homes. The residents reported they hid downstairs moments before the tree toppled. Across the street, another man and his wife were watching as tree branches, fences, and gazebos flew by.
It was a roar like a train or something like that. It was a frightening couple of minutes, let's put it that way.
2 streets over, a large tree blocked roads and knocked out power. The winds so strong, an awning from a home was lodged into a tree.
The rain was coming down so hard you couldn't even see 6 inches past the window. And then I knew things were starting to topple.
This was just one street of many affected by power outages. London hydro crews worked through the night and into Thursday, attempting to restore power. Meanwhile, work was underway to cut up and remove debris. This group from Family Tree Arborists were taken aback by the mess when compared to similar storms of the past.
And I was in awe. I was pretty amazed. I would say this is like a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10.
Might have been a tornado because they were swirling.
Looking at the damage to this apartment roof, his analogy seems probable. Yet below, the experts from Western University's Northern Tornadoes Project were looking at a set of criteria to determine if it was a weak twister or a downburst that tore through.
Things like the length and width of the damage, whether trees and debris are all going one direction or whether they're going different directions. You can look at the radar to get clues that way as well.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Calmer conditions tonight after severe storms ripped through our region. With the passage of a cold front, the temperature dropping off across our region. So a frost advisory in effect tonight and through Huron, Perth, Grey and Bruce County, and that stretches just north of Toronto to the south and northeast of Georgian Bay. Temperatures expected to dip between about 1 and +3 in the areas under that frost advisory. We still have a bit of cloud cover, but that sunshine trying to peek its way through. Some dry air on the move. Temperatures right now anywhere between 9 and 11 degrees across most of the region, with a few warmer spots towards Chatham and Windsor. Coming up, I'll take you through the forecast. We have a beauty day on the way for tomorrow with high pressure in control. The weekend weather system will spell some rainfall for the area. I'll have that forecast for you coming up in just a few minutes. Carlyle?
Thanks, Julie. A new poultry processing plant is coming to Woodstock. With more on the facility and its potential impact on the region's economy, here's Jerry Dewan.
BC-based Sunrise Farms is bringing a $100 million, 155,000 square foot poultry processing facility to the friendly city.
This is the heart of agriculture in southern Ontario. There's a lot of chicken farmers in this area, and we felt that putting the processing plant in this area would help support that agricultural base.
The provincial government is providing $4 million in funding through the Invest Ontario Fund.
To respond to the Trump challenges, we've coined a phrase. He has become the Trump accelerator.
Fideli says the province attracted 750 companies last year with $35 billion worth of investments. He says every new business investment sends a powerful message.
That's exactly the kind of confirmation we need from companies that Ontario is the right place to do business.
While Woodstock has been known as the dairy capital of Canada, the identity of the city changed dramatically 20 years ago.
We recognize we are very automotive based. Toyota put us on the map in 2007. And we're forever grateful for that kind of commitment from a global company.
Still, Accioni says fostering economic diversity and growing the agri-food processing base is critical.
We are proudly diversifying. We've been very actively in the last few years looking at other opportunities.
Work is already underway on this property in southeast Woodstock that will be home to the Sunrise Farms facility. They expect it to be ready for production by the end of 2027.
We're looking at this as kind of a beachhead, and we're hoping to expand our business here. So we're building the plant essentially to be able to increase capacity in the future.
Poultry processed at the Woodstock facility will be distributed under the Sargent Farms brand, and it will be halal certified to appeal to a diverse customer base. In Woodstock, Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
The London Health Sciences Centre supervisor has revealed how much he billed the province for his work overseeing the hospital. With more on David Mouchet's compensation and how he justifies the figure, here's Rita Ismail.
Depending on the billing pattern, it's like $780,000.
LHSC Supervisor David Mouchet says he billed the province $761,464 plus HST in 2025 for his work overseeing the hospital.
I am not an employee of any hospital in my role as supervisor, because being employed by any hospital could create a conflict in the role I have as an order in council. So as a result, my compensation I received is I send a bill in, like an independent contractor, and that bill is paid.
Mouget justified the amount, saying he doesn't receive the benefits of a salaried employee, including pension contributions and benefits, and he also covers his own expenses.
I am fairly compensated for the work I'm doing, and it's very important work. And anyone thinking that a role as a healthcare executive or in healthcare is a 5-day-a-week, 7-hour-a-day job, I wish him best with those thoughts.
Before taking on the supervisor role at LHSC in September of 2024, Mouget served as president and CEO of Windsor Regional Hospital, where his annual salary in 2024 was more than $465,000. The province appointed him to oversee LHSC amid concerns surrounding governance, operations, and financial mismanagement, including an alleged procurement scandal that cost the hospital millions. Mouget also addressed a major window replacement project at University Hospital involving more than 1,300 windows following allegations of breach of contract and negligence against several companies.
I wish we did not have to do, but we have to because the windows were put in deficiently. The price will be determined through the RFP process, but I can pretty much guarantee Rita that the price will be less than what we paid for it the first time. Sadly.
Mouget says the project will take years to complete because of its size and complexity. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
LHSC researchers are launching a new cancer trial testing a potential immunotherapy boost for lung cancer patients. With more on how it works, here's Lauren Stallone.
LHSC has announced the largest ever Canadian clinical trial that will test poop pills to improve immunotherapy for lung cancer.
The trial is entitled Luna 2. The trial basically looking at investigating the role of FMT, which is the fecal transplantation in patients with advanced lung cancer in Canada.
Researchers say for nearly half of people diagnosed with lung cancer, immunotherapy can slow the disease, but not stop it.
It is actually the cancer with the most diagnosis in the world, and it's also the biggest killer in the world as well. So it's an underserved population, so definitely something that we wanted to try and see if we can improve the conditions for the patients.
And the trial aims to do just that through a $4 million joint investment from the Canadian Cancer Society and the Weston Family Foundation.
Patients will still get their standard treatment, which is a combination of chemo and immune therapy, and half of the patient will get the intervention, so the FMT intervention prior to starting their standard treatment.
FMT, delivered through capsules or poop pills, contains carefully screened gut microbes from healthy donors.
The microbiome is an often ignored organ in the human body, but it's one that's very important. It interacts with the immune system because the gut is actually the largest immune organ. You have a concentration of a lot of immune cells there. And if you change somebody's microbiome, giving them a healthy microbiome, now the immune system can function better.
If successful, the trial would provide new treatment options for cancer patients, helping them live longer and with fewer side effects.
If you have a way to make that immune response better, in this case through change of microbiome, you effectively might be able to go and help patients with different types of cancers.
The trial is set to begin by the end of the year, rolling out at multiple sites across the country, with London at the forefront. Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
A new report from Stats Canada shows where you live could impact your level of risk when it comes to breast cancer. As Geneviève Beauchemin reports, women in rural areas or areas with large immigrant and racialized populations are slipping through the cracks.
Patricia Russell calls Brampton, Ontario, home, and she's survived breast cancer twice, 2 diagnoses 13 years apart.
It just felt like a kick in the stomach when I was diagnosed. It was it was a high time in my life, and the doctor told me that you have the bad kind.
It's triple negative, an aggressive subtype. She says she received excellent care. A new study found geography tells the story when it comes to breast cancer risk, mortality, and experts say care. Statistics Canada found the incidence of breast cancer is highest in rural regions of Quebec, Ontario, and the prairies, but also in some urban centres with large immigrant and racialized populations. In contrast, fewer women face a diagnosis in large metropolitan centres like Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver, as well as in northern and remote regions.
Having access to data like this is really just so crucial for decision makers and policymakers to have a better understanding of where resources are really needed. So this really does bear out the fact that in many communities outside of the big urban centers, there is that lack of access to being able to book an easy appointment with for a mammogram.
The study also found where you live impacts the risk of dying from breast cancer differently. It's highest in rural eastern regions, lowest in large urban centres where there's better access to treatment and follow-up care. Russell is now doing well and a tireless advocate helping other women through a support group.
I'm very aware and I'm very conscious and passionate about educating, especially women in the Black community, because we tend to not take care of ourselves the way that we need to.
She's also pushing for removing as many barriers to care as possible, no matter where home is. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
Loved ones are remembering a young teacher from Walkerton tonight, nearing the one-year anniversary of his death. Matt Eckert was one of 5 people killed last year near Thorndale, driving 4 students home from a softball tournament. With more on his legacy, here's Scott Miller.
David and Jennifer Eckert knew that their son Matt would make a great teacher. But it wasn't until they visited his classroom inside Walkerton District Community School in the days following his tragic death that they realized just how much he was loved.
When you walked in there, the whiteboards had all sorts of really emotional tributes to him. We knew he was a good teacher. We knew he would connect with young people because of who he was. But we just were blown away to what level.
In just a few years' time at Walkerton District Community School, Matt Eckert made a huge impact. He was beloved by the students and his fellow teachers, which is why his death and those of 4 of his students in a crash near Dorchester last May 23rd left such a hole in people's hearts.
He just made a massive impact. He was the cheerleader. He was the support system. And if somebody was struggling with something, he saw it right away. And he was that person that totally went to them and supported them.
The 33-year-old math teacher grew up an athlete, playing most sports but excelling in lacrosse, winning a lacrosse championship as a player and more recently as a coach. His dad recounts Walkerton District Community School needing a mountain biking coach, and even though he'd never mountain biked in his life, Matt volunteered to lead the team.
If they were going to miss out on the opportunity, he's putting his hand up and he's going to be there for him.
It was coaching that led Eckert to lead the girls' softball team at Walkerton District Community School. The team was driving back from a tournament in Dorchester when the SUV Eckert and 4 players were in collided with a transport truck, killing Eckert and 4 of his teenage softball players. To continue Eckert's legacy, his family, along with Matt's partner Tegan, started the Matthew Eckert Charitable Gift Fund to fund youth sports, mental wellness, essentially any initiative that might uplift or empower young people. To date, they've supported everything from lacrosse scholarships to school backpack programs.
That's really what we're trying to do, is remember him through paying it forward to the young people.
In Owen Sound, Scott Miller, CTV News.
A new report shows attendance at Canada Life Place was down for the 2024-25 season. According to the report, around 590,000 tickets were sold, about a 2% decrease compared to the previous season. The venue also hosted 136 events, which was an almost 4% increase. The city received $100,000 through a lease from the arena's operator and over $140,000 in ticket sales. Coming up, the winning Wolfpack, the London's girls football team, chasing a 3rd title in 5 years. The tee-up with Brent Lail is coming up next. Welcome back. It's the Tee Up with Brent Lael. And Brent, the London Wolfpack have kicked off their 5th season of girls tackle football.
Yeah, and we were there on opening day 5 years ago, Carlyle. And since that time, they've reached the finals all 4 years, and they're looking for a 3rd title. The Wolfpack were taking on the Peel Panthers in a battle of 2 of the top under-19 teams and the top defenses to start the season. This league continues to grow. They now have 13 centers on board, creating 2 divisions for the first time. After the Wolfpack lost their starting quarterback to injury, they grinded out a 7-0 win thanks to that touchdown right there by Taj Thompson. She's played all 5 years. It was 7-0 the final.
It's a really fun experience, especially seeing like all the girls that are interested in playing the sport. When I was younger, I was made fun of for playing with a whole bunch of boys, and I just felt like it was like something that I was left out of. So like having a team full of girls, it's just something like you feel very welcomed. It's like sisterhood, you know?
Now we're starting to crown some local champions as high school spring competitions reach their conclusions.
Yeah, and there will be berths at provincials on the line this week. Wassa boys and girls rugby will be in Stratford tomorrow, with the winners heading to provincials. The best track athletes from the region will be at Western over the next 2 days for spots at OFSA. And speaking of champions, congrats to John Drury of Kitchener. He won the annual early bird tournament at the St. Thomas Golf and Country Club this week. The amateur shot an impressive 2 under 70. He was the only player to break par in a field of 90 players.
A great start so far for the London Majors.
Yeah, unfortunately, last night in Chatham, their game was rained out, but the Majors are a perfect 2-0 in their inaugural season in the Canadian Baseball League. Next up, a date at Shack Couch Park in Kitchener tomorrow. Down the highway in Chatham, the Barnstormers are off to a 1-1 start. They'll be in Hamilton Friday night. In year 3, they're adjusting to everything that comes with being a professional franchise. That includes additional expenses for player billeting and the salary cap. However, they do have a ton of community support.
We've always been a team that's just plays a little bit of small ball. Like, we aren't necessarily a team that's going to hit it out of the park every at-bat or anything like that, but just a really big team game. Play for each other, not really for yourselves. So it makes for a good atmosphere when you're coming to the ballpark.
Well, definitely improved on the position players. We brought a couple of new guys, which are really promising. And it's not only new guys, they have experience. They have professional experience. That's great for the fans. In Chatham, we love it. It's really a baseball community in Chatham. Everybody's really excited. We're the talk of the town.
A big event is coming to London this weekend when it comes to collectibles, Brent. I know you were a big sports card collector as a kid. I was more into Pokemon cards, but fans of both can enjoy this.
Yeah, it's being considered the largest sport card and Pokemon show ever to come to the Forest City, and it's taking place on Saturday. It's the second show put on by DGM Cards, and it's going bigger and better than even a year ago. The inaugural show had 160 vendors. This time, there will be close to 250, everything from sports cards, Pokemon, Disney cards, and collectibles. It's being organized by the Shams family from London, and it's taking place on the turf at BMO Centre, and hey, admission is free.
We had a great reception the first time. This one's going to be almost double the table count. We're anticipating double the people coming. We have vendors coming from Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto, Chicago, Windsor, all over coming here. We're trying to turn it into more of a national show. For some people, it's their entire portfolio. Instead of investing in stocks, they're investing in these cards. And for a lot of people, it's an extension of their childhood, which is awesome. And it's going to be a lot of different varying cards, from a $5 card or a $10 card all the way up to a $50,000 card.
And finally, Brent, Canada's Junior Hockey Championship gets underway this weekend out west.
Yeah, the Kitchener Rangers will take on the host Kelowna Rockets Friday night. Meanwhile, back here in London, the reigning Memorial Cup champions have done an overhaul to their dressing room at Canada Life Place. It's taking a long time to complete, but they've given a tour now to the media.
Welcome to London Knight's new dressing room.
Alex Brown welcomes you to this new professional style space.
When you walk up to that door with the Knights head on, you open it up, you see the trophies up top, you're walking into something pretty special.
You are first greeted by replica trophies from their 3 Memorial Cup championships.
The new weight room is part of the old back of house space.
They've doubled the size at Canada Life Place, including a bigger equipment room, a massive workout space, hot and cold tubs, new lockers and laundry, and for the first time, a player's lounge.
It's just a huge upgrade for us going in there. It's great for the guys. They got all the amenities now.
This is the only room that didn't change in size, but it looks much bigger.
The main dressing room has also been overhauled with LED lighting, new stalls, and they've moved the logo from the floor up to the ceiling. In the hallway, a line of plaques from the start of the franchise to present. To make it all happen, they partnered with the branding firm Incorporated.
What we wanted to do is make sure that when we were looking at the space, we're looking at line of sight, we're looking at the experience, we're looking at the entryway. We want to create an experience for fans, we want to create an experience for the players. We want to make sure that every time the player takes the ice, they're inspired. There's no doubt there's a history and a legacy here, and we wanted to make sure that we paid the proper homage to that.
The Knights have also moved their hockey operations offices from the second floor into this new space.
And what a span of 24 hours. Last night, of course, all local soccer and baseball games all canceled. But tonight, we're good to go.
It's looking all right compared to where we were this time yesterday, Julie.
Yeah, much calmer conditions. I know. What were you doing last night? When
I was golfing in the backyard, and then I was like, okay, that's enough of that.
Yeah, we were in the newsroom, and it was quite the experience. I would say it did come in extremely fast, and of course, you saw earlier in the newscast all of the damage that was in and around our region. Take a look at some viewer video that was sent in.
Woo, look at the trees. Holy It's a tornado.
Joe, oh my God.
Get in the bathroom, get in the bathroom.
Great advice, Joe. Thank you so much for sending this in. This video was captured in East London, and there are many areas that remain under investigation. Now, the Northern Tornadoes Project has confirmed that a tornado did touch down southeast of London in the Derwent and Belmont area, and this is the video coming in to us from Belmont. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for sending that in via social media. And again, lots of images being shared in our newsroom. Gusty winds across the region associated with these storms that move through, and I mentioned the Northern Tornadoes Project continuing to investigate. Temperatures across our region, we did not reach 20 degrees today. However, it was 20 degrees just after midnight. 8 degrees our low temperature, comparing that with what's normal for this time of year. It looks normal, but it was cool this afternoon as temperatures hovered just above 11, 12 degrees. So conditions across our area tonight, cool, will drop into the single digits. The wind still gusty out of the north-northwest on the hour. Frost advisories north of London, here on Perth, Grey and Bruce County, and you can see those extending into northern Ontario as well. Southern Quebec being added to that. Areas that are picking up the warmth on the east coast. So midwestern Ontario, areas like Dundalk, you'll see the temperature drop down 0 to +1. Mount Forest as well. London holding at about +3 overnight. Near Lake Huron and Lake Erie, 4 or 5 degrees. Across the country, temperatures on the cooler side through the prairies, but temperatures looking quite spring-like. No big summer warm-ups and no major extremes. Where we are seeing the warmth, of course, I mentioned on the east coast, the cold front that moved through our area last night has pushed all of that warm eastward, as well as the rainfall and thunderstorms. We're in the clear. Conditions are going to be beautiful for us tomorrow. We have high pressure in play, and that means lots of sunshine, a gorgeous day on the way. A few fair weather clouds as we head into early Friday, but then the cloud starts to thicken through the day, and we'll go full overcast towards Windsor, Essex, Chatham, Kent. North of that, the cloud will start to build, but we have rain in the forecast heading into late Friday night. So rain's expected late Friday and showers on Saturday. So we have an area of low pressure that's developing stateside. This is well off to the south right now, just starting to see it, the moisture associated with it. That will be driving in for the weekend, looking like a steady rain on Saturday with a chance of showers on Sunday. So tomorrow, 16 degrees as we head into the early afternoon. Winds out of the northeast. That'll be our high, so a bit below normal. And then on Friday, clouds start to move in. So we could see some peaks of sunshine early in the day before the clouds thicken. And then on a Friday night late, we have the chance for some rainfall. Saturday looks to be a wet day with a steady rainfall expected. And then on Sunday, just the chance for showers. You could see a little rain move back in on Sunday night, lingering into early Monday morning, so watching that, but cooling down. Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday, here's where things get interesting. Forecast models indicating a potential omega block building, and that would mean we're in for some beautiful weather, gorgeous conditions, and a big warm-up coming our way, so I'll keep you posted. Midwestern Ontario, you got some sunshine in your forecast tomorrow as well. 15 to 16 degrees for your highs, varying from here on Perth to Grey Bruce. 17 on Friday, mix of sun and cloud in the morning, but increasing cloud cover Friday night. Probabilities are less in through Midwestern Ontario this weekend. I don't think you'll see a steady rain all weekend. Saturday, you will likely see some showers on and off. Grey Bruce, it'll be more intermittent. Further south, more of a steady rainfall. That rain is coming up from the south, so that's got some good moisture with it. But how far north that moisture goes is the question. Rain in the forecast, a chance on a Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Daytime highs, look at that, 22 to 24 under a mix of sun and clouds. So we're going to shift back into some summer-like conditions. So just a brief cool down across the area, Carlyle, but we'll take it. We have that sunshine in the forecast tomorrow. You'll need your jacket, though, heading out the door in the morning. No storms over the next couple of days, but we could see some thunderstorms moving into the area on Saturday, as well as some heavier pockets of rain. But good news, next week things are shifting once again and lots of sunshine and warming up.
All right, Julie, thanks very much. When we return, a misleading maple leaf. Consumer concerns over companies using national symbols for international products.
Join us tomorrow morning for Prize Town, another $100 OLG voucher up for grabs.
You could be on a yacht listening to Pure Country 93 from the ocean, somewhere beautiful.
No one wants to think about us on a yacht.
Your next chance to win at 7:10 tomorrow morning.
Enwave's decision to decommission a district energy steam pipe in downtown London this fall could now cost taxpayers almost $7 million more than council's approved estimate from a couple months ago. And as Daryl Newcomb reports, one municipal building will need a whole new heating system.
The RBC Place Convention Center is the fifth municipal building impacted by the planned decommissioning of a medium-pressure steam pipe that's part of the district energy system run by Enwave. A new report to City Council estimates it will cost up to $6.8 million to install a standalone heating, humidity, and hot water system in the convention center before the steam is shut off this fall.
It's costly and it's unfortunate, but it's work that we don't have a choice but to do.
Despite major upgrades, Enwave says the pipe was increasingly unreliable and posing safety risks.
We're being backed into a corner.
In March, council begrudgingly allocated up to $11 million to install individual boilers at Museum London, the Central Library, City Hall, and Centennial Hall. Adding the cost of RBC Place brings the total estimated cost to $17.8 million. Morgan says he has had an initial meeting with representatives from Enwave.
My ask of them is very clearly in the financial sphere. At this point, they're discussing it. They're taking it back to their board. This is a company that has to report back to a very large organization. And we're planning our next meetings in I think, the coming weeks or so.
According to City Hall, to date, Enwave has not provided any funding towards any of the work underway at the municipal buildings impacted by the decommissioning of its medium-pressure steam pipe.
We've got really critical plans coming forward. The downtown plan, the economic development plan. Our capacity to fund the initiatives in those plans are severely hampered by having to spend money in this way.
While the costs are significant for the municipality, Morgan acknowledges many private businesses and building owners will also be impacted.
We know the public sector partners. We still don't even have a window into the private sector costs that are being borne by downtown businesses that are just looking to make ends meet.
A statement from Enwave did not commit to financial compensation, but said it continues to work with the city and impacted customers, providing regular updates, a dedicated community liaison, a project manager, and partnerships with vetted providers for equipment rentals, financing, and installations. On May 28th, the convention center costs will be discussed by a council committee. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
A federal agency is reporting an increase in complaints about so-called maple washing. That's when retailers and producers try to make their products appear more Canadian than they actually are. Abigail Beeman reports.
Do you tend to look for origin on what you buy?
Yes, I do. I try to get Canadian.
Trade tensions with the U.S. have many shoppers looking to buy Canadian where possible, and they tell us they don't appreciate attempts to maple wash.
People are trying to sort of vote with their dollars when it comes to what they want international policy to be.
It's not fair. It's not right.
I want to know where it's coming from.
The Canadian Food Inspection Agency says complaints about maple washing are on the rise, 400 since the start of 2025 when the trade war heated up.
Classic situations of false representations or misleading advertising.
Joey Zukran is one of the lawyers behind a yet-to-be certified class action lawsuit taking aim at a string of stores with examples like a maple leaf beside a can of soup that says product of USA and tomatoes advertised as a product of Canada that say product of Mexico.
The allegations in the lawsuit are clear that this was done to, attract or touch on the sensitivity that many Canadians have shopping, especially in these times.
Not all products at Canadian grocery stores are even required to have their country of origin listed. There's no official logo for Made in Canada, and according to the CFIA's own website, a maple leaf on a product doesn't necessarily mean it's Canadian.
We need stronger penalties. We need greater enforcement.
In addition to consumer confusion, this entrepreneur lecturer says maple washing is unfair to Canadian suppliers who can lose business in the process.
Some kind of a certification mechanism would help.
Of the big retailers, only Sobeys and Loblaw responded to a CTV News request by deadline. Both acknowledged some isolated incidents they say they worked quickly to fix. Loblaw companies were slapped with 2 of the 7 fines the CFIA handed out. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Markets in Toronto and New York were given a jolt Wednesday while oil prices fell. In Toronto, the TSX gained 421 points. In New York, the Dow added 645, the Nasdaq up 400. The Canadian dollar increased a modest 0.03 cents. On commodity markets, gold gained $24 an ounce. Oil fell nearly $6 a barrel. Later on CTV News, setting the stage for Sunfest 2026. This year's lineup unveiled at the festival's launch party. Welcome back. City officials in St. Thomas say they're looking for a partner to revitalize the former Wellington Street Public School. There hasn't been a full-time tenant since before the pandemic, so they're asking for conceptual ideas to bring the heritage building back to life. Brent Lail reports.
This 128-year-old building is up for bid.
Give us your best ideas for the creative, adaptive reuse of this beautiful heritage building.
The City of St. Thomas has been generating a lot of interest from developers who are looking to revitalize the former Wellington Street School.
We have a mandate to create more housing in this community, so that's obviously a priority, but we're open to all kinds of creative solutions. So whether it's commercial, or whether it's institutional, medical, hospitality industry, really anything's an option.
When we saw the RFI come across our desk, we're like, okay, we should take a look at this.
Indwell already has 2 supportive housing buildings in the city and another under construction. Their latest project is taking the Balaclava Street School and converting it to 78 units of housing. It's an eerily similar building to the Wellington block.
The amazing thing about St. Thomas is that, back in 2021, when the community came together and said, how can we actually end homelessness? A plan was set out to build about 150 units of supportive housing, have better integration between different agencies. That plan has been working, and with the completion of Balaclava School next year, it's probably going to be close to being able to say we've functionally ended acute homelessness.
This building was constructed in 1898 and served as an elementary school until 2009. Since then, it was home to Algoma University, the STEAM Center School, and even a homeless shelter during the pandemic. It's been vacant for years.
We'd love to form another partnership with this property. We've had great success with Indwell, with Eastwood Community Housing, with the YWCA, countless partners. So this is another opportunity to advance our goals.
It really is amazing to see these old structures that have lived through generations come back to life for a new purpose for today.
For the developers who are serious about bidding on this property, the city will open the doors for an open house on June 10th and another on June 24th. Brent Lail, CTV News.
The Prime Minister was in BC today, pushing his government's pipeline priorities, while that province's Premier voices his concerns about separatist provinces getting their way. With more, here's Mike Lecouture.
The Prime Minister is a friend
to British Columbia.
BC's premier struck a friendlier tone standing next to Prime Minister Mark Carney. It came a day after David Eby said Canada won't work if separatist premiers get all the attention, a reference to Alberta and Ottawa moving forward on the plan for a bitumen pipeline to the West Coast.
Developing our economy has to go hand in hand with environmental protection for the next generation, including the North Coast tanker ban. That is crucially important for British Columbians.
Carney pointed out 1/3 of the projects identified as in the national interest are in BC, and that the two leaders are on the same page. But an hour earlier at the Vancouver Board of Trade, Carney made it clear he's looking for partners, not pushback.
We don't want to hear what people are against. We want to hear what they're for. And if you're for something, we will get behind it.
Carney's challenge is to try and sell that message while balancing the competing interests of each province.
I think what he's doing is he's saying, look, we are going to establish rules that will propel forward major projects, create jobs, and generate benefits for each province, for each part of the country.
A part of that balance includes working with provinces like Saskatchewan to apply the industrial carbon tax. While Premier Moe refuses to collect the levy, he's open to discussions on it.
To see if we can come to some type of an agreement that works for industry and doesn't impact negatively the industries that are creating jobs and making investments just like this in this province.
Carney and Eby agreed to start negotiations on BC's economic priorities. However, the Prime Minister also told that Vancouver business crowd if things get stalled there, his government will spend time in the rest of the country because they need to move forward. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Tomorrow on CTV News, from southwestern Ontario to LA, a local Star Wars superfan who landed a spot at the premiere of the iconic franchise's latest film. Tomorrow on CTV News at 6.
Thank you to Dr. David Sills for our photograph of the day. Dr. Sills is the director of the Northern Tornadoes Project. He took this photograph southwest of London, just west of Christina. He said you could see the lowering cloud was rotating, and this is that mesovortex. Clear conditions overnight, much calmer across the region, and sunshine in the forecast for your Thursday.
The head of Canada's military has been nominated for an important position in NATO. According to the federal government, General Jenny Carignan is a candidate to chair the NATO Military Committee. The role serves as the main military advisor to the Secretary General. Carignan will continue leading our military during the selection process. She was nominated by the Canadian government. The federal government is also summoning the Israeli ambassador over civilian mistreatment aboard a Gaza-bound flotilla.
What we've seen, including the video shared by Itamar Ben-Gvir, is deeply troubling and absolutely unacceptable. Canada has already imposed strict sanctions on Ben-Gvir, including asset freezes and a travel ban in response to his repeated incitement of violence. The protection of civilians and respect for human dignity must be upheld at all times.
Activists say 11 Canadians were among the people detained when Israeli naval officers intercepted 41 boats in international waters near Cyprus Monday. Our foreign affairs minister says the Israelis have not responded to their ambassador summons. A rare sight captured off the shores of Vancouver Island, a pod of white-sided dolphins stranded in a tidal pool. A wildlife photographer says he started taking pictures after he realized the animals weren't in distress, saying it looked like they were just waiting out the tide. He says staff members from the Fisheries and Oceans Department were on site, keeping people back and monitoring the dolphins. Once the evening high tide came in, they were able to swim back out into the Strait of Georgia. Finally tonight, Sunfest officials unveiled their 2026 musical lineup today. As Nick Pamparella reports, this year's edition could be the festival's largest yet.
For the 32nd year, music from across Canada and around the globe will echo through Victoria Park in downtown London. This summer's edition of Sunfest will boast the largest number of performers, with 52 acts ready to hit the various stages. Co-artistic director Alfredo Cashaw says there will be over 30 international groups for the first time ever.
So excited about this Brazilian group called Zurarás do Tapajos that is coming from the Amazonian region in Brazil. This is such a crucial and important element for us because they've been coming for so many years to the music, denouncing all the atrocities going on with the rainforest and the Amazonian. But here they are bringing their music, and their message is one of the most exciting groups. And of course, you know, we have groups from the very first time from Taiwan, from Benin, from Serbia. You know, those are groups that, you know, have never been in London. But this is going to be the first occasion where people will have a taste of what the culture is all about.
Besides the largest international lineup, artists from across Canada and right here in London will also be performing at Sunfest 2026. Co-artistic director Mercedes Kashaw says the national performers are among the best ever.
Lots of young acts, Analia, Divka, Bube. We have locals like Saveria, Telitza Sweeney, Seth McNall, Sixtet, Eagle Flight Singers. I mean, just so much talent to showcase.
As always, besides the music, there will be more than 225 food and craft vendors throughout Victoria Park. This year's festival takes place from July 9th to the 12th.
This isn't your typical multicultural event. This is a culturally diverse music festival that puts global sounds forward through professional artists.
Nick Paparella, CTV News.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. I'm back tonight with your late news at 11. Bye for now.